Greetings. I, Conservative Cardinal 3, would like to gather attention that we may have a heretic amongst our ranks. Recently, I've got a tip that someone with relations to Giordano Bruno has been going around spreading lies of a heliocentric universe. Practicing heresy is a crime possibly punishable by death. He must be discovered and brought before Inquisition at once. The relevance to this matter at the hands of dealing with Galileo is great, as we have previously sentenced the teacher of this impostor, and we must make an example of him to show Galileo that spreading lies cannot happen in an orderly society. With that matter brought to light, I would like to move our attention to how Galileo supports a flawed view of the workings of the universe. The very ideas of Earth itself moving can't be supported with observation. As I am about to demonstrate, the Earth moving cannot be moving lest when we drop objects they will land anywhere but the position below them. Here is the world as we know it on this ball. This is how Earth and water travel downward to it. As we can observe, this is how it would fall if the Earth was moving. It would land somewhere else. Instead of landing in Rome, it would land somewhere else. This is how, as you can see, the object doesn't fall towards Rome, but rather in what could be inferred as a spiral motion to elsewhere. This is an odd trajectory for fallen Earth, and what it would take lest it was blown by a great wind. While initially with complete observation one could infer that wind and fire may show the Earth moves, there is a problem that shows up as more complete observations of the wind are made. The winds are not strong enough to account for the Earth itself moving, and these unimaginable winds would have to cover the entire globe. In fact, if such winds would render the Earth unlivable and make God's creation of life pointless. Not to mention, the wind changes direction all the time. The sun would have to rise in the north and set in the east on some days, and on other directions on others to account for the wind being from Earth moving. The wind also changes strength, so the sun would have to be up for days sometimes and a few hours on others. In Aristotle's posterior analysis, the premises of demonstrated knowledge must be true of primary, immediate, better known then and prior to the conclusion, which is further related to him as effect of cause. Aristotle points out how water and earth fall straight to the center when dropped. How can it fall straight if the Earth is moving below? Well, if the Earth is moving below. While Galileo demonstrates in two chief solar systems that the ball dropped from a tower could be inclined to go sideways initially, this can only be done if it's thrown, whereas from an even taller tower, a thrown ball can't keep up with a rotating Earth. And this, it wouldn't be able to land at the foot of the tower because the tower would have moved so much by the time it lands. It would have moved elsewhere. Instead of landing, I tried to land it on Rome. Past the realm of Earth, air, and water lies the moon. The false hypothesis brought by Copernicus and Galileo suggests only the moon circles Earth, while other planets circle the sun. Why would the moon selectively circle the Earth but not the other planets in the sun? There's nothing we know of that does such a thing. That would be like if some Earth didn't want to fall to the center, but instead rather go sideways when dropped, or in another case, whenever water is dumped, or would go sideways. This is told in Aristotle's arguments for a stationary Earth, which explains that Earth has the urge to fall to the center. Ether has the urge to circle it. Another issue with Galileo's hypothesis is that the moon moves in a circle, symbolizing perfection. Then why won't the other spheres? In order for the universe to work, the spheres of which the heavens are made up must act accordingly like each other, much as the four elements of the changing world act in their set ways. The ether of the heavens must also act in one way, and that is in circles that go in the same manner. If the moon is Earth, as Galileo postulates, then why doesn't the moon fall to Earth and cause mass destruction we have never seen? And why instead does it float and circle the Earth? The moon can't be made of Earth because it isn't falling. The planets and stars can't be made of Earth as well because they aren't following either. They move in circles. In conclusion, the Earth can't be moving because of previous effects, contrary to what we observe in our world.